Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to another refreshing edition of Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television. It's Thursday, the 16th of October 2025, and here I'm Samson Balogun. Always a pleasure to be with you as we start the day with the stories, insights, and conversations shaping our nation and the world.
And I'm Manulu Akpoidu. We're excited to have you with us this beautiful morning. Whether you're at home or on your way to work or already getting things done, trust us, we've lined up an engaging show filled with news, analysis, and perspectives that matter.
All right, here's what's coming up. This morning on Daybreak Live, we begin with Daybreak Gist, where politics takes center stage. The Minister of Information, Muhammad Idris, has declared that the All Progressives Congress, APC, will control 30 states by 2026. That's a bold projection, one that's already sparking intense conversation about political dominance, party strategy, and the health of Nigeria's democracy.
Absolutely, something. We'll be examining what this means for the political balance of power and what could be fueling this growing wave of defections across the country. Then we'll bring you the weather update, followed by Daybreak News, a quick informative roundup of stories making headlines in Nigeria and beyond.
All right, after that, we'll move into a newspaper review and analysis, where we take you through the deep dive into front pages and unpack what those headlines really mean for Nigerians. Joining us for that segment is our in-house analyst, Lekon Shuboale, bringing his trademark clarity and perspective to conversation.
And for today's big story, we head into the education sector where a major reform is turning heads nationwide.
Right.
The federal government has announced that mathematics will no longer be compulsory and humanities. A decision that's drawn mixed reactions from educators, parents, and policymakers alike.
Right.
Our discussion this morning, math no longer mandatory, educational reform or academic misstep.
All right, to help us explore that, this groundbreaking change will be joined by a man who has dedicated his life to transforming how we learn and teach, David Wilson, the visionary founder of Macho Mind Universe Geniuses, a Cambridge certified educator and a brain development expert. He is the creator of the 5 times smarter methodology, a system that blends abacus, mental math, brain gym, and mind games to help students boost their intelligence and confidence in record time. Through his Transshipper certification program, he is empowering teachers across Africa to reshape how children learn, think, and grow. With over 2 decades in education, David believes that mathematics is more than just numbers. It's a tool for transformation and a gateway to unlocking human potential.
I would like to be a part of that conversation. Anyway, that's definitely a conversation to look forward to, especially as classrooms, parents, and students try to make sense of what this new policy could mean for the future of learning in Nigeria. And of course, we wrap things up with Trend Watch, your spotlight on what's buzzing online and sparking conversations across the country.
All right, wherever you are, stay tuned. This is your trusted companion for news, analysis, and meaningful dialogue. Every weekday, every morning.
You're watching Daybreak Live on Dominion Television, and we're just getting started.
Yes, we shall.
We should get started. Good morning to you, Samson.
Good to have you in the studio again.
I mean, some of us would like this conversation, especially with mathematics, because it dealt us a very big blow when we were young.
Huge blow, you call that.
I mean, well, no, maybe. Well, some have said it's not. Well, we'll get into that conversation.
You know, as difficult as this said it was at that time, I wasn't really, it wasn't a subject I, paid so much attention to, but I've always scaled through, whether you like it or not.
You scaled through or you aced through? There's a difference between the two. You aced or you scaled?
I never had an A, not even a B.
I like your truthfulness.
But I tried.
You don't want to know what I had my first exam.
I scaled through. That's it. I think I had it about 3 times. And
wow.
Each and every time I was always, that wasn't what I was looking for actually. So I was always getting past that.
Let's see what's the topic of conversation this morning. The conversation started this morning, and that's about defections, right? APC will control 30 states by 2026. That's coming from Information Minister Idris. I think the first thing that came to mind was that, okay, so Information Minister is supposed to tell us what exactly? Is it this about the election or his party
I think
or the
it
country?
should be more about governance.
I believe so too.
It should be more about what's the president bringing to the table. What are the new, policies that could shape the future of the country? Of course, shape the economy. What stage are we in the economic development and the growth the president has been talking about? That's what so many people would be expecting from Muhammad Idris. But deviating from his role as, the information minister, and then talking about party politics. I mean, if you are a party man, yes, we know, but that's not your job. Leave that to the publicity secretary of the APC to tell us how many parties the APC will control. Now, let's break it down. This is one story that should interest so many people. If you look at the current trajectory of the political landscape in Nigeria as we speak, check the South and Southeast. We are talking about the Southeast. You are talking about Ebonyi. You are talking about Imo. You are talking about Abia. You are talking about Anambra State. These are the states you'll be talking about in the Southeast. And if you look at Imo as we speak, Imo belongs to the APC. Enugu just defected to the APC. If you check, if you are talking about Anambra, which belongs to ABGA as we speak, he has said it time without number that he aligns with his power at the center. So he's working hand in hand with the presidency, meaning that, yes, ABGA at the state level, APC at the federal level. Now, the only state that has not really moved, is Alex Oti of the Labour Party, who is in Abia. And recently he had an interview and then was being scrutinized about, the performance of the president. And he said, look, if you're going to ask me questions, ask me other questions. Well, this particular one, I'm never going to say anything that will affect the president. So meaning that in one way or the other, he has aligned with the center. He might not just have come out to make an announcement. Now, let's talk about the South-South. If you're talking about the South-South, you are talking about Cross River State. You are talking about Akwa Ibom State, who recently moved to the APC. Now, these are, of course, you talk about Delta too. Governor Sheriff also moved, even with his predecessor, that was Okowa, who was the vice presidential candidate of Atiku Abubakar in the last general election for the presidency. So now, he is also in the APC as we speak. So even Rivers, if Rivers belong to APC, they have all aligned with the president. Now, let's talk about the Southwest. We are talking about the only state that still, that's still very strong when you come to the PDP is Oyo State. He has 2 years left on the calendar. So meaning that Oyo State is still PDP. Osun is currently PDP, but the election is here. And it's a little bit dicey in Osun State. We had a conversation with someone yesterday and was saying, look, with the current situation of things in Osun State, it is not even sure if Adeleke is coming back, and it's not even sure if he's going to lose. So he's standing in the middle somehow. And a few times he has tried, according to reports, he has tried to move from the PDP to the APC. And sometimes he do say it, that, look, I belong to whatever the power at the center is. And we saw a few videos, pictures where he was hobnobbing with the president recently, I think about a few months ago. So that is the Southwest. If you look at the North, a huge percentage of the local government, of the states in the North also align with the president. So one way or the other, the president has been able to leverage on what he failed to have in the last election. He could not get so much vote in the South-South and the Southeast. And you see them moving to the APC. And he got a huge chunk of his vote from the North. And he has been able to cement his relationship with the North as we speak. And one of the things he has been able to do is to play party politics the right way. We want the party chairman to come from this particular state. Yes, he gave it to them. That was the North Central. We want this from that. He's been able to say, look, let's spread this thing across so that by the time the election comes, we will not have aggrieved party members, just like the PDP are currently having, and so many of them are trooping out en masse to join the APC.
I think what you said is quite spot on, I would say. But again, when you mentioned center and joining the center, I think what came to mind was there's a game we used to play way back, in and out center, everybody would jump. And so I think like people are now jumping from different parties to the APC. Right. But again, this begs the question of what would be the fate of APC when everybody is in APC? Who gets the power? Who gets the nomination? Who gets the call for the political office? That's one. On the other hand, if we all leave a party to another party, what becomes of the other party? There's something in politics called opposition gains.
Right.
Which should be, if there's a government in power, there should be another government checking that government, saying that you're not doing well. Yes, you're not doing this, so they can put them on their toes. But if everybody has defected to this party by playing in and out center game, what becomes of the other part? What becomes of the Nigerian state? What becomes of economy and every of the thing? What becomes of what we should say to people in power? Speaking truth to power and all of that. Who gets to speak again? Because everybody is now at the center. I'm not sure this is the right way to go. We spoke about this yesterday too, about defections happening, and it's likable. We can, put fingers on it to say it's not good, because everybody that is going with their own ideological opinion to say, okay, I still have this mind. And it's funny how that many of our political parties are not ideological based. They are not philosophical based. They don't have something they stand for. So, because if you have something you stand for, it will be difficult for you to defect, because you're saying the things I used to know, the things I used to profess, I now forgo. I now say they are inferior to this party I'm going. So this party's organization, the structure, the ideology is superior to what I was doing before. So it's more like admitting defeat, to say you want to defect to another party. But that's the case in Nigeria, and it's of course a rabbit hole case, if you ask me, because where do we go from here?
You see, the challenge now is that political parties do have ideologies in Nigeria. Yes, they have what you call the party constitution, they have the handbooks. Yes, the parties created, they have ideologies. But the individuals in those political parties do not have ideologies.
But the constitution is supposed to be above every individual.
Yes, that's what the situation is, and that's the challenge we currently have in Nigeria. People tend to forget they swore an oath to be a part of a political party, and immediately, they cannot, their ambitions cannot be fulfilled in that party. They have moved. Take for example, if you check America, for example, you have the Democrats, you have the Republicans, and so many other political parties, the less known ones. But then, some families are known, they are known for some ideologies. If you talk about the Bush of this world, if you talk about the Clintons of this world, these are people who, they have political parties they have always been known for. Check the UK too. You have the Labour, you have the Conservative. So it's always like that. They have ideologies. You cannot see anybody not moving from a political party to another political party, because they know that this is our own. That's a belief, and that's what you will always be a part of. But in Nigeria, it is the people, not the party. The party is there, but who controls the party? The people. So it's a challenge. So the party cannot talk. The party is just an agreement on a piece of paper, registered under INEC and of course under some other bodies. And then the people control what is, these things can always be maneuvered and of course manipulated. That's the challenge we have.
Let me quickly speak to what you said. Now, if you check the name of the party, the Conservative Party, for example, in the UK, the name tells what they stand for.
Absolutely.
If you check the Republican, it tells a story of what they are trying to do. Democrats, the same.
Absolutely.
But in People's Democratic Party, what do you say to that? Does it tell anything?
Well, there is Democrats in there. APC also says, it's a progressive party. So that's an ideology. But the problem now is the party already there's a clause that says, oh, this is what the party is about. But the people in the party, do they have an ideology? Because they are easily swept away by, the ideas of other people, and then immediately someone promises something and the other political party, oh, they are jumping ship, regardless of if the ideas are aligned. I was speaking to someone and said, look, yes, I have my own ideology, and I feel I can achieve my aims under any political party. I said, oh, so you mean that your own idea supersedes that of the political party, because the party should be supreme. That's what we used to have under the Shehu Shagaris of this world, even till 1993 when MK Abiola contested. So it's a challenge. Some people don't even know what ideology means anymore. So they are just a part of a political party for being their sake. If you ask them, what exactly are you doing in this political party? What's your own plan? What's your ideology that made you join this party? And then when they reel that out to you, you see that they are, on the opposite. Are you a capitalist? Are you a socialist? You don't even know.
Communist.
Are you an economist? So you don't even know. And you are a part of the political party. Now, we have seen traces of capitalism in some political parties in Nigeria. We have seen a little bit of socialism. We have seen some people who are economists and the likes. But the challenge is the individual in that political party. Where do you belong? Ask them that question.
Someone once said, I'm not going to mention the full scale of what he said because it could be a libel or something. He said APC is a party of, past, is an association of past. I would not say the last one. The last C stands for something I would not like to see on there. But again, he said it's like everybody that has done something before and now coming back to APC and all of this. But again, the information minister coming out to say that, we'll have 30 states. Again, I ask, what is the projection for this? Why did you make that statement? You make a bold claim. Can you give more, maybe projections as to what you've worked on, statistics, and all of that?
Before he came out to say that, there's a projection. They know what they are doing.
It could just be a guess, and it could be a mind game too. It could be a mind game because
they
are not sure it will be 30. It could be more than 30,
Let me cite an instance. I think yesterday, Doye Diri of Bayelsa resigned from the PDP. He has not announced where he's going. But obviously, which other political party will he go to? That's the APC. So, and there are other, aside from people who are already on the seat, who are governors, there are so many other political heavyweights who have secretly resigned their positions in their political party, and they are looking to join the APC. Now, I will cite this as an instance. There's a rumor that some governors, even in the north, who belong to the PDP, they are planning to join the APC. And what is the catch? The catch is that, just come to the APC, don't worry. Most of them are first-timers. They are first-time governors, and they want to go back the next time. And they realize the fact that as it stands, the PDP is weak, even at the center and at state level. So they feel that their second-term goal might not be achievable in the PDP. So they need a party that is strong. Which party is stronger than APC in Nigeria as we speak? I don't think so. I don't think there's any, especially at state levels in some places, maybe Oyo, maybe Osun, of course, in some places in the north. So the challenge is they are looking for a party that promises them the automatic return ticket. So immediately you join as a sitting governor, you are bringing everyone within your cabinet and, of course, your followers at the grassroots level. So when you join, don't worry, you are contesting the next election free of charge. Don't worry, you already have the tickets. That's the catch. And nobody leaves a political party that gave you a platform and then joins another political party with the aim of, I will go and vie for a ticket there. That's the problem. So they know exactly what they are into, and don't be surprised and don't be shocked that in the next few months, more governors will join the APC.
One thing I would also like to add to that is that I hope our people, the Nigerian people, are watching and listening and reading between the lines come 2027 election.
Well, the president's political mastery is already in play, and you might just see a few more defections within and outside the party. All right, this will be the convenient point to leave this segment of the show this morning. Let's call a quick break. When we return with a Quadri report, we'll be back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Do well to link up with us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel at Dominion Broadcast. Don't forget to click on the notification bell, and you can also watch us live on our website www.dominion.org.ng. Now it's time to take weather report. This morning I will be starting with the ancient metropolitan city of hospitality, Ibadan. This morning weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius in Ibadan this morning. Later in the morning it will be mostly cloudy and rise to 27 degrees Celsius There will be scattered thunderstorms, 44% chance in the afternoon at 29 degrees Celsius. It will be mostly cloudy in the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, and cloudy overnight in Ibadan at 23 degrees Celsius. So if you're in Ibadan this afternoon, be prepared. There might be a little bit of showers in Ibadan.
And a bit of contrast in Lagos State, Nigeria. Today, the weather feels like 26 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. There are variations across from the morning till night. Of course, 27 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy in the morning. The afternoon, 29 degrees Celsius. That's an increase of 2, with showers expected as well. And mostly cloudy events would happen at the evening time in Lagos State, 27 degrees Celsius, and overnight, 26 degrees Celsius, with a promise of showers also in Lagos State today.
All right, moving on to Ekiti this morning. Weather currently feels like 21 degrees Celsius in Ekiti as we speak. Later in the morning, it will be cloudy and rise to 25 degrees Celsius, just like Ibadan. There will be scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon at 29 degrees Celsius. Mostly cloudy in the evening at 22 degrees Celsius, and cloudy overnight at 21 degrees Celsius in Ekiti today.
Also, variations across Abeokuta South, Ogun State today. 24 degrees Celsius is what the weather averagely feels like. And again, in the morning, 27 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy in Ogun State. Afternoon, 30 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy as well. And 25 degrees Celsius in the evening, mostly cloudy. And overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy. Quite a variation in Abeokuta South, Ogun State today.
All right, similarly in Osogbo, today, Osun State, weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius in Osogbo. It will be cloudy later in the morning at 26 degrees Celsius, and there will be scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon at 30 degrees Celsius in Osogbo today. In the evening, it will be mostly cloudy at 23 degrees Celsius and cloudy overnight at 23 degrees Celsius in Osogbo today.
Still in southwest, Ekiti East, particularly Ekiti State, the weather feels like 21 degrees Celsius averagely, and in the morning 25 degrees Celsius, cloudy as well. Afternoon 29 degrees Celsius with scattered thunderstorms, and evening time would be mostly cloudy at 22 degrees Celsius and 21 degrees Celsius cloudy overnight in the Ekiti East, Ekiti State today.
Moving on to the North Central this morning, that's talking about Suleja in Niger State. Weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius. In Suleja today. It will be mostly cloudy later in the afternoon at 26 degrees Celsius. Later in the morning at 26 degrees Celsius. Mostly sunny in the afternoon at 30 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy in the evening at 24 degrees Celsius. And overnight it will be at 22 degrees Celsius. Mostly cloudy in Suleja in the North Central today.
And in the FCT Abuja particularly, the weather is fair, but a lot of variations across from morning till night. 27 degrees Celsius is what the weather feels like, cloudy in Abuja today. And afternoon, 30 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. Evening, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy. Overnight, it's 22 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy as well. In Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, the weather is fair at 22 degrees Celsius.
All right, moving on to Kaduna State this morning. Weather currently feels like 21 degrees Celsius in Kaduna, and it will be mostly cloudy, mostly sunny later in the morning at 27 degrees Celsius. Also mostly sunny in the afternoon at 31 degrees Celsius. It will be clear in the evening at 24 degrees Celsius, and mostly cloudy overnight in Kaduna today at 21 degrees Celsius.
Weather feels like 21 degrees Celsius in Kano Municipal today, Kano State. Of course, 21 degrees Celsius is what the weather feels like. Morning, 29 degrees Celsius, quite sunny in Kano. And afternoon, 34 degrees Celsius is partly cloudy as well. Evening, 25 degrees Celsius is clear. And also is clear at during the night at 21 degrees Celsius in Kano Municipal, Kano State. The weather is fair across at 21 degrees Celsius in Kano Municipal.
Right, that will be all we can take on weather report this morning. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll take the news. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok @Dominion Broadcast and on X @DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Hello and welcome. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. My name is Anuluakbo Ido. The Senate has ordered a full-scale investigation into rising safety concerns within the aviation sector following revelations from the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, about a runway overrun incident involving an Air Peace aircraft at Port Harcourt International Airport. The resolution was passed after a motion was raised by Senator Abdul Fattah Buhari, representing Oyo North, on the need to strengthen aviation safety following the NSIB report on the Air Peace runway incident. The Senate also directed its Committee on Aviation to engage all relevant stakeholders, including the NSIB, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA), the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAAN), and airline operators to submit a comprehensive report within 6 weeks. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has issued a 7-day ultimatum to the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, to resolve their ongoing disputes and prevent another strike action that could disrupt the nation's academic calendar. In a statement signed by NANS President Olushola Oladoja, the students expressed concern over the growing tension between the government and ASU, warning that any disruption to the academic calendar would be unacceptable to Nigerian students. He further appealed to President Tinubu to personally intervene, warning that failure to act swiftly could erode the goodwill and stability achieved in the education sector. Olubadan of Ibadan Land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has inaugurated a 5-member committee on land grabbing and other related heinous acts. This was disclosed in a statement by Oba Ladoja's media aide, Chief Adiola Oloko. The committee members include Chief Niyi Akintola, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Barrister Musibao Adetunbi, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Yinka Okwade, Rahman Abiodun Abdurrahim, and Tunji Thomas. Oba Ladoja stated that both the Oyo State government and the Olubadan Council were on the same page in ridding Ibadan of the menace of land grabbing. The Olubadan, however, clarified that the inauguration of the Legal Advisory Committee was meant to strengthen the existing Committee on Land Matters headed by Mogaji Ashimiyu Ariori. The youth in Oyo State have called the attention of the state government to the creation of a creative hub, describing it as a way of attracting tourists from across the world. This was disclosed by the Oyo State Youth Representative Yusuf Adegboyega at the stakeholders meeting held in Ibadan, stressing the power of business in the state's development.
We want a very good Oyo State government creative hub where people from Lagos, the United States, United Kingdom will come and feature in our traditional places. Business is the hub of development. We need business incubation hub in Oyo State. Youth of Oyo State are ready to work. They are skilled and they are performing. We need more employment for the youth, like you have done for us. We are more employed.
He affirmed the readiness of Oyo State youth for the labor market, thereby calling for more employment opportunities. Some legal practitioners in Ibadan have called for the establishment, reinforcement and effective management of juvenile correctional homes across the country to ensure that minors are separated from hardened criminals. Speaking in an interview with Dominion News, the lawyers expressed concern over the practice of keeping minors in adult correctional facilities, describing it as improper and harmful to the moral and psychological development of young offenders.
Time you will never find some children being in conflict with the law, and when you find them like that, the law is clear. You cannot put children or juvenile with adults in the same place so that they don't become more hardened. In fact, there are some words that you don't use as strong as they are, for children. So we just need to call on government to provide, juvenile correctional centers.
It's not ought to be, for sure, no doubt about that, because if you put adults among the hardened criminals, definitely instead of going there maybe to go and redefine them, for sure they will go there and come back harder. Yes, they will come out with more criminal intent. So it is better they create juvenile place for the minor.
The practitioners, however, urge the government to prioritize the creation of more juvenile correctional centers and to ensure that existing facilities are properly managed to provide rehabilitation and reformation for young offenders. Now, away from Oyo State, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doyediri has resigned from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The governor announced during the weekly State Executive Council meeting in Government House, Yenogua, and posted on Facebook by his Chief Press Secretary, Daniel Alabra. Alabra said that the governor resigned from the PDP with the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Ibrahim Ingobere, along all the PDP members in the state legislature. Diri's resignation from the PDP brings an end to a month of speculation over his alleged move to the All Progressives Congress, APC, but Alabra did not state the political party he will join. In business, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has approved the disbursement of 28 billion naira to electricity distribution companies for the second phase of the meter acquisition fund scheme for the metering of all outstanding Band A customers free of charge. In the new directive signed by NERC Vice Chairman Dr. Musili Osheni and the Commissioner for Legal Licensing and Compliance, Dafe Akpeneye, the Commission said the latest tranche would focus on metering all outstanding unmetered Band A customers while expediting the closure of metering gap for customers currently classified under Tariff B. The other forms part of the Presidential Metering Initiative, which aims to close Nigeria's estimated 7 million meter deficit. And in sports, Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong has said that the players will give their best at the 2026 FIFA World Cup playoffs. Eric Chell's side trashed Benin Republic 4-0 at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in New York. Nigeria will come up against Gabon in the semi-final of the playoffs next month. Troost-Ekong stated that they're happy with the chance to be at the World Cup. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. And as Daybreak News, I am Anoluwapo Ido.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Thank you for staying tuned now to the newspaper headlines and analysis on this very broadcast. Of course, we check the stories that are breaking and making the rounds across the platform in the country, Nigeria. And I have with me in the studio Lekon Shobowale, public affairs analyst and a journalist. Good morning to you, Lekon.
Good morning, Anu. How are you?
It's a good day to be alive.
Yes, thank God.
Especially maybe because some are defecting and others are staying. We'll get into the stories. Yeah, some are. Maybe you are also one of them. We should.
I'm not a card carrying member of a political party yet.
All right. So let's start with the story. 24 hours after Mba joined APC, Diri abandons PDP. PDP seems to keep mum on the next move. They seem not to talk. Yesterday was also in the print that PDP is bleeding, according to a particular newspaper. But I want to get your comprehensive, thoughts on this. I want to know what you think about it. I want you to wade into this situation. PDP, is there any chance for PDP come 2027 presidential election? Speak to this.
Let me first of all say that I sincerely sympathize with PDP. This is indeed a trying period, or a trying moment for PDP, especially now that they're having their national convention. They're running so fast, and losing 2 governors in less than 48 hours, it's highly grieving, disastrous, and one don't even know how to sympathize with them. And going by the information that we are having, we still have like 3 or 4 governors from PDP that will be joining the APC. Well, what can I say? Nigerian Constitution gives a freedom of association. I can decide to be your friends tomorrow, and in the next 1 week, again do otherwise. So, but I've read so many comments, write-ups, castigating some of these governors, some of these defectors. Number one thing, the first thing is, why are they defecting? There is a provision for that whenever your party is in crisis, you are very free to leave your party and move to your, the next
To the other
door.
party, yes.
You understand? Everybody knows that, PDP is not the same PDP that we used to know, and that there are skirmishes of internal crisis, from their chairman Tamagun to the secretary of their party, Anyabo, who is now a close ally of Minister Nyesom Wike. Now, even whenever you see Wike, flagging off, commissioning APC-led federal government projects, you always see PDP National Secretary in attendance. So that tells you that, something is wrong somewhere, in the PDP. And you can see our governor here, Governor Sheyi Makinde, why some people are saying that he's working seriously to have the ticket of presidential ticket of PDP, and it's not going down well with so many of the governors. So, and some of these governors, it becomes worrisome when you see a second-time governor moving to another party, a second-time governor. But I've come to understand that most of these governors, they're only, fighting for their survival. It's a battle of survival. So that they want to have a safe landing, and they want to enjoy their retirement in peace. Let me tell you, some people are saying one party states and one party states and one party. This is not the first time this type of thing will be happening. It happened in 1998 when late General Sani Abacha, after the banning of SDP and NRC, late General Sani Abacha, came in with 5 political parties, and all of them at early 1998, they all came together and adopted late General Sani Abacha as the president, for October 1st, 1998. But thank God, there was a divine intervention at that time. In 2002, 2003, during the government of my great-granduncle, not late now, but great-granduncle, yes, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, it happens. It happens, Then we have almost 28 governors of PDP. I can still remember in Southwest, PDP swept 5 southwest states, leaving Lagos State, then former Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It goes round the nation there. And that was why that time PDP was boasting that they are going to govern the state for 50 years. It happened. So this is not the first time that something like this will happen. But yes, for people that are, for political observers, for historians, that are talking about a one-party state, yes, it depends. Nobody is being. I have not heard from any of the governors that they are being. Okay, take for instance in our state. I know of a top politician in this state, who has been a member of PDP since 1999. He has never decamped. In person of former Deputy Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Ose Ayolagbola, popularly called Hallelujah. He has never for one day defected from PDP to another party. But now he has also resigned his membership of PDP in Oyo State. At least he is not a governor. He is not holding any political party. So, like I used to say, every Nigerian politicians, they are greedy and selfish. You understand? They always, yes, you can give it to a first-time governor, that thinks that, okay, the best thing for me, if I want to secure a second-term ticket, is to go to the ruling party who is having a majority. But how do you now define, or what do you now say about the second-time governor that is exiting that position in the next 2 years? What is the problem going to the ruling party?
Okay, I think I appreciate how you've given us an historical context. I love context for one. So you've given us an historical context. You've more like given us the situational context. But let's look at projections. What does this really mean for the PDP?
Yes, it means a lot for the PDP. If PDP is not careful, PDP may be nearing its end. Yes, if it's not careful. Because let's look at it. Even those that are now in PDP talked about Osun State Governor. He has publicly declared, his intention to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even as a sitting PDP governor. So, look at other PDP governors, talk of Plateau State, they are saying that he will also be joining Fubara, will also be joining. So, it means that PDP, if care is not taken, if something is not done urgently, may be nearing its end. And, like I used to say, as we speak, the only opposition party that we have now in Nigeria is PDP. ADC is not yet a political party, it's just a coalition. I was listening to Peter Obi yesterday when he was saying that he's still a member of the Labour Party, but also a member of coalition party. What is coalition party? So PDP is the only viable, reliable, and recognized opposition party as we speak in Nigeria as at this morning. So if something like this is happening to PDP, that means we may be ending up not having a viable opposition political party in Nigeria, which is not too good for our democracy.
All right, there's a story I want us to quickly speak to very quickly now. It's on Daily Trust newspaper. It says fuel price climbs to 1,000 naira as queues resurface. So if you check this with what this administration has been saying again and again, you probably see there's a bit of contrast. To say the economy has improved, to say you are getting the data for the FX policy and some of the projections in the economics of this country. Now, to now say the Pengasan, Dangote, NLC issue is also still somewhere there. And it seems like this is the case now. The fuel price is climbing to 1,000 naira as queues resurface.
Well, for me, I bought it this morning. I bought it at 925 naira this morning. And I don't know. I'll move around to my way coming. I saw that in Ibadan, I don't know of any other part of the country, in Ibadan, I can tell you, categorically that there is no queue in Ibadan.
For now.
As at this morning, there is no queue in Ibadan. But I don't know, I may be tempted to link this. This has nothing to do with the federal government. Everything cannot be federal government. Don't forget, the continued issues, the continued conflict between the Pengasan, the Nopeng, and the Dangote. you know, refinery. You know, I think this is by now we should not be talking of queues. You know, whatever queues that we have in Nigeria as of today is just, you know, an artificial queue. It is not real, because in Nigeria, NNPC has confirmed that we have more than enough PMS. Dangote Refinery is saying that there are more, you know, we have more than enough that Dangote is even exporting to neighboring countries. So I will not be, you know, towing that part of attributing this to the federal government. But I can only urge the federal government to take a practice step before this artificial PMS scarcity, you know, degenerated. That is all I can say.
Yeah,
Yes.
another story from the Punch newspaper says Senate is about to screen Amupitan today.
Yes.
Now, Peter Obi has called on Amupitan to be a man of integrity. What do you say to Amupitan?
Yes, I will also lend my voice to that of Peter Obi, that the man should live above board. You know, see, let me tell you, even when you are saying, if Peter Obi is telling Amupitan to be a man of integrity because of 2027 general election, are we still having 2027 general election in Nigeria? Because, you know, before 2027, don't be surprised, we may be having, out of 36 states, we may be having APC governors in 32, 33 states. So when a ruling party, for that matter, is having 33, 32 states, you know, so how can someone like Peter Obi be thinking about winning 2027 election? I don't know, but I also believe in miracle. But I don't think there is, you know, I was watching former governor yesterday, Peter Efashi. He was congratulating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that, like, what do you want to do? I don't understand. You know, I don't know the miracles that the opposition or the coalition party, I don't know the miracle they want to put up. Because when you're having APC governor of 29 states, how do you win election?
In fact, the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, said he's expecting 30 governors.
So with 30 APC governors, how do you want to win election? Every politics is local. It's local. So how do you intend to win election with APC 30 state governors? Tell me that miracle when each of the governors will be holding forth his territory. If you are having 30 APC governors, maybe you can say that, okay, it is the people that will determine. Good. But are you telling me that 30 APC governors, out of the 30, APC will not be able to win 26, 27 states?
Are you saying Peter Obi doesn't have a chance?
See, I'm not God though. I'm not God. But I'm saying this from my personal opinion. You know, I don't see Peter Obi. See, let me give you an instance. November 5 will be Anambra State governorship election. And people have been telling Peter Obi to go back to Anambra and win Anambra State for Labour Party. Let us begin from there. You are popular. People like you. Abi, charity begins at home. So let Peter Obi, let him go back to Anambra State. On November 5, let us hope, let us believe that the INEC will declare Labour Party governorship candidate as the winner of Anambra State governorship election. That is when I can even say anything about Peter Obi. See, it is not enough. Let me give you an instance. Omoyele Sowore, whenever I see Omoyele Sowore going around, moving out, walking around, you see people following him. Does that translate to electoral victory? You don't understand. So, you know, it is not about obedient movement. It is not about Peter Obi. You know, elections goes beyond street credibility. I get what I'm, so I will want to see Anambra State in November 5 being won by the governorship candidate of the Labour Party. That is where let the Labour Party wins November 5 governorship election in Anambra. They will now come back and discuss Peter Obi. I think that would be the very best thing to do.
Yes, I guess just before that too, there's a story about Peter Obi that he says he can change Nigeria's trajectory in 4 years. You know, and he's adding all of this to his fellows to say, these are the things I can do. Do you think he can do this?
I don't see. It is I can build Dominion Studio in just 1 month. It is very easy to say. It's the word of your mouth. You can change Nigeria trajectory in 4 years. Yes, you know, he is conceiving it, but we are all Nigerians. We understand how things work in Nigeria. It is not possible.
It's not possible for him or for anybody to change the story.
See, let me tell you one thing. You know, we have so much. We have systemic corruption. We have systemic failure in Nigeria. How can you tackle systemic corruption within the 4 years? You were elected. Before you appoint your minister, it will take you like 6 months. Before your minister will be settled down, it will take them like another 6 months. You put up policies. Before you see most of this policy, you know, working, it takes you another 1 to 2 years. And in Nigeria, we have just 2 years for governance. By third year, you'll be talking about the next election. So how do you now want to change? You know, when these people talk, they always believe that Nigerians are not daft. It's just that Nigerians don't know what to do. You know, when all these minority, all these influential politicians come and tell you, see, you will see someone that will tell you, I can change Nigeria in just 1 year. Obi needs an opportunity. Obi is seeking for an opportunity to govern Nigeria. So have you not heard Obi saying that he will spend just 4 years? Have you not heard him saying that? And political observers are saying that, but why? This man can lie. How can you say you will just spend 4 years and go? These are things that are not possible. It is so difficult. If you want to spend 4 years as president of Nigeria, if you are sincere that you want to spend 4 years, you will now see your people. Don't forget Jonathan. Jonathan spent 2 years, another 4 years, and he said he will go in. And you see some people, I cannot remember the name of that man. The man, former senator, the man is late now. You know, the man gathered a lot of signatures, millions of signatures. He went to President Goodluck Jonathan and presented it to him and said Nigerians want him to continue as Nigerian president.
Let me get your thoughts on this. I'm sure you are abreast of the presidential pardon of this current administration just recently. Now, a lot of people are now calling and urging the president to vet submitted names for presidential pardon. Some have even questioned the names that were on the list of the presidential, pardon at the time. What do you make of this?
Well, when that decision was being taken, I was not there, so I don't know, the yardstick for, for the pardon. But like some Nigerians, I'm also worried that president pardon.
How about Macaulay Ogoni 9?
It's not even you can pardon about Macaulay, you can pardon Ogoni 9. What would be the reasons for pardoning a big-time kidnapper? What would be the reason, justification for pardoning almost 56 drug baons? 56, What are the justifications? What would be a reason for pardoning someone that killed his husband, that had just spent 2 years out of his sentence? I'm also worried. I don't know. The presidency, our guy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, has not been able to come out and tell us the justifications. Yes, pardoning is good, forgiveness is good. But when you can pardon the Ogoni for what has been the offenses of Ogoni for, because they are fighting and they are talking for their people, right? Abba Macaulay, is Abba Macaulay still alive now? All those ones are not. But pardoning 56 drug dealers, convicted by the court, what are the justifications? What are the reasons? pardoning someone that killed, that stabbed her husband to death, you pardon. What are the justifications? So I'm also worried. You understand? But I cannot say, because I've been watching out for Mr. Bayo Lonika to come out and tell us, maybe by the time presidency comes out and give us reasons why these steps were taken, then maybe we can now speak to that. But for now, you know, I'm not too happy. You know, there are some things that, there are some things that will happen and you just, who will I, what are the reasons? What are the justifications? Nobody is answering all those things. So by the time the presidency comes out and tell us the reasons, maybe then we can know what to say to their reasons.
All right, let's talk about Nigeria is losing a bid to host Commonwealth Games. Now that's like talking sports and some of these things. Nigeria is also set to play in Gabon in the next few days. Okay, I think the next month rather.
Next month.
Yeah, so all of that we are still seeing. Is there hope for the Super Eagles before we move on to something else?
Yes, I see Super Eagles going to work. I see it, I saw it in my dream. I saw it in my dream that I saw Super Eagles at USA and Mexico. So, I was so happy. I was so happy on Tuesday. I watched the match. I was so happy, and with what I saw, Gabon will not be that team that will stop Nigeria from going to. You can take
so you think it's a walkover for Nigeria?
You can take it to the bank that Nigeria will be at.
It's on record, man. It's actually on record. Now, the Sultan of Sokoto said something quite interesting recently. He said he's seeking social media regulation at Ulama meeting. I think he's been calling also for a restriction kind of for social media use, especially with youth. And this is also common. Some countries, not even Nigeria, have also placed ban on social media promotions and all of these things that people do. But again, that erupted into a protest in a particular country, and it's still biting hard, it's still affecting economy, it's still killing people as we speak. But what do you make of Sultan's claim to say there should be regulation at a particular meeting?
Yes, social media, it's become so disheartening that we don't have an agency, or we don't have a regulator regulating, social media in Nigeria. Yes, when you look at some of you go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, you see what people are talking out, of all those social media. Then you now get worried that I think there is a need for a social media regulation, social media agencies. Regulating the social media does not mean, some people will be saying, they will be talking about freedom of speech, freedom. No, even when you are talking about all those fundamental human rights, there should be limitations, and I know there are still some limitations to that. So I'm also supporting the Sultan of Sokoto that the federal government should take a decisive steps in ensuring that social media. Go to Facebook. Facebook is the most prominent and the popular of all these social media. Go to Facebook, see what people are posting on their pages. Go to TikTok, go to Instagram, see what people are churning out. So it is very important. The examples that you gave, is the Nepal. You are talking about Nepal. That is a different. The issue has been on for a very long time. You understand? The social media, is just the social media is just the climax of the issue. So it is not really the social media, that prop up that crisis in the past. But there has been a lot of, just like in Nigeria, when people are advising government, calling out government and all those stuff, and government is possibly they are not listening. You understand? So social media is just like, you put a petrol and you just put a fire. So it is very important for the federal government to just ensure that social media, they find a means of, all professions, or majority of professions in Nigeria have regulatory agencies, and most of the things that we do are being regulated. So social media is becoming so prominent, is becoming so acceptable, across ages, ethnics, and nationalities. So there is a need for the federal government to make sure that it is well regulated.
Thank you very much, Lekon Shibowale, public affairs analyst and a journalist. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for staying tuned. Of course, the next thing is a big story, and that's we talk about education with Samson and David Wilson. You need to know what that would be, but that will be after this break. Join us again.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning and welcome to the big story on Daybreak Live, right here on Dominion Television. I am Samson Balogun. Today we are diving into one of the most talked about developments in Nigeria's education landscape. the federal government's decision to remove mathematics as a compulsory subject for art students. It's a policy that's drawing sharp reactions from educators, parents, and students alike. Supporters say it's time to give learners the freedom to focus on subjects that truly align with their strength. Critics, however, warn that these could erode the analytical and problem-solving skills that mathematics helps to build, skills that extend far beyond classrooms. So is this move a step towards innovation in our curriculum, or the beginning of a dangerous academic downgrade? Thank you for joining us on the show this morning. To help us make sense of this major policy shift, let's first understand the development itself. Under the new directive by the Federal Ministry of Education, mathematics will no longer be a mandatory subject for students in the arts and humanities at the secondary school level. The change aims to reduce failure rates and anxiety among learners while promoting specialization in subjects such as literature, government, fine arts, and languages. However, many education experts caution that mathematics is not merely an academic hurdle, but a tool that shapes reasoning, discipline, and logical thought. They argue that removing it from the compulsory list could widen the intellectual divide between arts and science students, and in the long run, weaken cross-disciplinary competence that modern economies depend on. Joining me to unpack this deeply consequential decision is a man at the forefront of reimagining education across Africa, David Wilson. He's the founder of Macho Minds Universe of Geniuses, a Cambridge-certified educator, and the brain development expert with over 2 decades in teaching and training. He's the creator of the I'm 5 times smarter methodology, which blends abacus, mental math, brain gym, and mind games to turn learners into math champions in just 3 months. Through his Transshaper certification program, he's equipping educators across Africa to revolutionize how children learn, think, and grow. He believes mathematics is more than numbers. It's the heart of transformation and a key to unlocking human potential. David Wilson, Chief Transshaper and Global Education Trailblazer, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, yes.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
This is going to be a very interesting topic.
I mean,
parents, students, everyone have 1 or 2 things to say about this. And I know that as an educator, there's a lot to talk about too.
A lot.
Now, let's unpack this very quickly. As an educator, the news broke yesterday. You heard it. How did you feel?
Okay, I felt bad. I must be very frank. Not just because of the fact that I need to be critical about the decision, or not just because of the fact that we always need to criticize our leaders on what they are doing, but I mean, it's a matter of importance to our nation and the future of the educational sector in this country. I felt like they are removing something very vital. I mean, I love your introduction. Whilst you were actually talking, you were really talking about some of the points I already have. I mean, remove math from the educational stream of a particular set of people is like removing oxygen, something that people need to breathe with. Let me go deeper. I mean, I know that a lot of people are happy. A lot of our students are happy. You know, I mean, they've had a very poor math experience in their various schools. I mean, some people have math teachers who didn't try. However, mathematics is not just a subject. I think where we got it wrong as a nation, as a people, is that mathematics is being taught as a subject. Mathematics is supposed to be taught as a life skill.
What's the difference? As a subject, as a life skill?
Now, if it's taught as a subject, mathematics in itself is abstract. Okay. You know, so if I say 2025, you know, what comes to mind quickly is we're in year 2025. Now, I mean, if you relate with continents that have taken math from being abstract to being concrete, I mean, teaching math as a pictorial subject, you see that they will see 2025, and that actually gives the learner that confidence, you know, with math. However, what we have done in this part of the world is to then teach math as a subject instead of a life skill. Now, what do I mean by a life skill? You can listen to me right now. Do you know that listening is a life skill? Right. Do you know that problem solving is a life skill? Now, problem solving is not just about solving mathematics or solving complex problems. Problem solving is the way we are analyzing this thing right now. You know, our problem solving skills is going to be seen in what we do. Visualization is a life skill. These are brain skills, but they are life skills. You need them to survive. Focus and concentration. People will be listening to me right now. They are focusing on me. That focus, concentration, listening, critical thinking, logical reasoning, all of these things are life skills. I mean, so that's what math is supposed to do. So math is supposed to develop in us the ability to think critically on any situation. So why do you want to remove something that is going to help a child to think critically, or a child to think logically, or a child to visualize, or a child to concentrate, or a child to focus, or a child to listen more? Do you know that if our children can listen more, concentrate more, and focus more, do you know that our problem as parents, as educators, as stakeholders will actually be reduced? So unplugging math from a set of children who have not seen math as something interesting, I think is something we really, really need to be very careful about. Let me go a little bit deeper again. Now, a lot of math teachers have not helped. I mean, the traditional...
I was still coming to that.
Yeah,
some made it look like rocket science.
Yes. I mean, the problem, let me tell you, the problem is that we behave or we act like those who trained us. So, from the beginning of mathematics, I think those people who started math didn't train other people well. When those people now, they made up their mind to begin to teach, they also taught math poorly the way they are taught. So the problem has actually been from generation to generation.
It's a foundational problem.
So it's a foundational problem. However, things are changing. I mean, we have apps right now. There's an app called Photomath. There are a lot of AI stuff that are beginning to reshape this thing. I made up my mind. I asked myself a question when I knew I was going to teach, that what is my purpose? Why am I teaching? Why do I want to teach the children? Is it for them to fail? Is it for them to feel threatened? Is it for them to feel, is it for them to see the subject as something they will not be able to solve, or is it for them to have fun learning? I had to define that. Don't forget, I was also taught by some people who were not good. But I was also taught by some very fantastic teachers who made me fall in love with the subject. And then I made up my mind as a person that, okay, when I teach, when I come in contact, I don't know if you know math, I don't know your math story, but I can tell you right now, if you submit to me in few minutes and I begin to teach you math, you are going to fall in love with it.
I was still saying this morning, I never failed, but I never got an A, so I was somewhere in between.
Okay, actually, I was going to talk about that, because what the requirement for mathematics is not A. If you can have 50, that's 6 6 is 50 to 54. So if you can have 50 to 54, you are good to go. In life, tell me what is easy in life. You want to drive, is not easy. You tell me one thing. You are a journalist. Is it easy to be a journalist?
Absolutely.
It's not easy. So if you now have a requirement that says that you should have 50% in a thing, and that thing is being scrapped, I think something we really need to look at because of our future. And you know one thing, our children will be competing, will be on a global scale. They will be judged on a global scale. Many of our children want to study abroad. Many people in art class, they want to study abroad, and they will still be asked, they will be tested on their mathematical skill. You want to get a job, you are going to be tested on mathematical skill. You will become a parent, your children will be learning math. What if you are a child, you studied art and you have a child that is going to sciences and you need to help that child? How are you going to help that child? So we are not really thinking about the long-term effect of this thing. It's in the long-term effect. Now let's look at Asia. In 2013, I saw what the Asians were doing with math for the very first time, and I was so amazed. In fact, in Asia, they use, we use abacus. I run an organization called Machuman Universe of Geniuses, where we use the abacus that the Asians are using. How did we get into this? We saw that all the children in Asia, most of the children in Asia, they don't have phobia for math. What is the secret? In Asia, go and do the research I'm about to say. In Asia, your first birthday gift is an abacus because it's called a tool of intelligence. Okay. And they begin to make the abacus like it becomes pictures. When they are learning numbers, for the very first time when they are learning numbers, they put numbers in pictorial form and they begin to manipulate it in terms of the addition, the subtraction, the multiplication, the division, and all other things. And the children just get comfortable with numbers, get comfortable with math, and then they can do math to any level. If you check the math league table, you see that the Asians are always stopping. But let me go deeper. Do you know the essence of math in something that has affected them as a continent, not just as countries, but as a continent? They are a producing continent.
Now, what created that gap between Africa and Asia? You are bringing mathematics into it as we speak.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons there's a gap between Africa as a producing country, as a producing continent. So is mathematics one of the reasons where there's a gap between Africa and Asia?
I mean, I would say it contributed a lot. So what math used to do, I mean, in India, one of the things we learned from India is that Indians, they use long strings of numbers to train their children. So you know what that does to their mind? It brings out the genius in them. What number does to the mind is bringing out the genius in the mind, bringing out the creativity skill. I didn't mention that creativity is also a life skill. It's a brain skill, but it's also a life skill. And it brings out the creativity within the children. That's why small children can put things together. They can begin to wire things, and before you know it becomes a robot. It becomes a toy that they are importing into our nation and our own children, instead of checking out how they are doing this thing. What are they putting together? You understand? So we have become a consuming nation. You understand? Instead of being a producing nation. Why? Because of the fact that we have not concentrated on the power of numbers and the power of mathematics. So I don't know if you are getting this. So that's what has plagued us as a nation. So we are already deficient. We are already behind. We are a third world. You understand? And because of the fact that we have not gotten something right. Somebody said insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result. We have, I mean, when do we hear about mass failure? It is when the children do, when they do WAEC exam, when they do NECO exams, that's where we hear about mass failure. But do you know when the children start failing math? From preschool, from kindergarten, from the KG classes, from the very first time they are introduced to math. That's where I think we should first attack the issue. Why? Because the people teaching children math for the very first time are not math experts. Are people who also have math phobia. They have dyscalculia, they have numerophobia, they have arithmophobia. So they actually transfer their phobia into the children learning math for the very first time. So if our leaders can then begin to focus on the foundation, the good book says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? And you can paraphrase that if the foundation is solid, what can the righteous do? So if we focus back, we go back to the very foundation of our mathematical education, there won't be need for anybody to be scared about math. If we have a system that we really actually check people who are coming in. I fell in love with math very early. I knew I was going to teach. And then I went into teaching. You know, the best brains from each school are meant to go back to the class.
Now, let me ask you this question very quickly. I was going to that, but of course, you gave me a cue. Now, talking about hiring teachers who takes care of mathematics, oftentimes we realize the fact that majority of people who have found themselves in the teaching world as we speak, they are either people who failed to secure a job at their dream place and eventually end up being a teacher. Now, I had a math teacher who would face the wall and teach himself for 1 hour and then leave, and then writes homework on the board and then walks away, and then comes back probably in the next 1 or 2 hours, or maybe the next day, and says, oh, where's homework? There's no correction, there's no revision. He was just talking to himself all through for 3 years. Now, the question is, if you had that kind of teacher for 3 years, is there a way out for a student who is stuck in that kind of situation?
There are way out. There are a lot of way out. And parents who are smart are already looking for something extra to give their children. For example, we have a center, we just started in Ibadan. For example, it's a math center where we transform children from from back to front, from math phobia to absolute love for math. I mean, we used to say that if you come to our organization, you are going to fall in love with math for life. So parents who are smart, who are not getting math right in their schools, I mean, math is a fundamental issue. So we have not gotten it right with training the teachers. You said, I mean, a lot of people who didn't get their dream job, they find themselves teaching, and then it's compulsory for them to teach maths that they don't know, so they struggle with it. So it's a foundational problem. We still have the problem right now, and that's why this is coming. I mean, I know that this is coming, it's stemming from the passion and the compassion that the leaders have for our students to be able to secure opportunities to enter, gain admission into schools. However, are we looking at the future? So teachers who are not engaging the children right can be trained. They can be retrained. I mean, that's why we have a training, for example, it's called the Trans-Shapers training, where we train the minds of the teacher. How do you teach? How do you dress? How do you connect with the children? Kids don't learn from those they don't love. That's the very first thing a math teacher is supposed to begin to do. When I come across you, I want to teach you math, the first thing I'm going to get from you is your likability. Not because I want to force probability into your brain, or I want to force algebra into your mind, or I want to force things. I mean, our teachers of math, they have actually done harm to many of our students. Many people don't like math. If you ask parents, they are scared of math. If you ask, if I ask many of you in this TV station, people will say that, well, we don't like math. You know what? The effect of that also is when your children, they see that you are saying you don't like math. Daddy is not interested in math. Mom is not. Automatically, they say that. So what do I have to do with math also? So that's already a problem. But don't forget, math is actually going to help us as a nation. We have data analysis. We have metrics. You understand what we're looking at? We have artificial intelligence. All of these things, the system running behind all of these things is code, which is made up of numbers, which is made up of math. You understand? So if we are running away as a nation from mathematics, we are actually going to be injuring our children, our future leaders. We are going to be injuring them from doing the right thing, from meeting up with standards. So what will parents do? Parents should look for people who can then help their children to fall in love with math.
Could this current situation, new announcements by the federal government, unintentionally widen the intellectual gap between art and science students?
Absolutely. When I was in school, science, I was in science. And then it's not because I wanted to go for science. It's because of my skill set. My skill set, I was needed in science class. And then don't forget, I had a very fantastic math foundation. My dad, my dad really helped me and introduced me to numbers early in life. And I think that is one of the things that has helped me. In fact, I didn't know the advantage or the benefit of what my dad did to me until I started getting the knowledge from Asians. I got to know that they introduce their kids to numbers early in life. I mean, you and I can communicate in English. People listening to us, they can actually listen to us in English language. Do you know that before we started speaking English, we had to learn what is called ABC, the alphabet, right? I mean, from alphabet, we started doing 2-letter word, 3-letter word, 4-letter word, and then before you know it, we started reading sentence. Before you know it, we started communicating in English. But listen to me. Math is not taught systematically like English is being taught. Now, what is the alphabet of mathematics? The alphabet of mathematics is numbers. The digit is 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is the alphabet of math. How many kids right now at their very early stage are being introduced to the alphabet of mathematics? So if we introduce them to the alphabet of math, you will see that math becomes something that is comfortable for them to begin to handle. I mean, and that's what I will advise our leaders to begin to look at. What are the trainings that we can give to our teachers? How do we get people who are passionate about the subject and let them spread their compassion, let them spread their passion into the new generation of teachers or the teachers that we're having. Now, let's look at it. I was a science student. I have this passion. You understand? And then another person goes into art class. And then we are now in the marketplace. I have no math. my brain functions with numbers. I can think creatively. I can think logically. I mean, who is going to get promotion first? Is it the person that I'm Atlas, so I'm from Atlas, so I only know how to act? I mean, I don't have anything to do with math. You know, you have something to do with calculation. We are all calculating. You want to have money. You want to count millions. You want to count billions. And you are not interested in math. In football, there is mathematics. In journalism, there is mathematics. In even, do you know that if you are a lawyer that knows math, you are a better lawyer than a lawyer that doesn't know math? You are a lawyer, you have a very good math background, and you study law. You'll be more calculative. If you are a journalist, that you are covering, let's say we're having there is election, they are counting, votes and all of those things. You can see that math is in everything we are doing. So the science class student doing math, doing further math, which is also called hard math, they will be better. Why? Because of mathematics, because of the fact that I told you that numbers actually find a way to bring out the genius within the learners.
In your experience, can every child truly be a math person, or some minds are just wired differently?
No child is born to have math phobia. It's like saying that is it possible for a child to be born without the ability to know how to breathe in and breathe out? I mean, no child is born. It's actually the training. It's in the training. How did you start walking when you were small? It's in the training, the process. And before you know it, from crawling to walking, so no child is born to have math phobia. There's a book called Every Child Can Learn. I've forgotten the name of the author, but that's the title of the book. So every child can learn anything. It's in the training. I mean, you see that, as a matter of fact, when you lose it when the children are very young, you have lost it. At age 3, for example, a child's mind is very magnetic. It's like a sponge. You can soak in anything, soak in water, soak in oil, soak in everything, So if we begin to introduce math to them at that point when their brain are very magnetic, it's not going to be any problem. No wonder the Asians, that's the methodology. They introduce math to them early. Do you know that a child at 3 can learn 4 languages? If you introduce French, Mandarin, Spanish, Chinese to a child at 3, the child will begin to learn. The child will be able to speak. But how many children do we have in Africa that are being introduced to multiple skills very early? They will think that we're actually robbing them of their childhood. No, we're actually preparing them for their future. So when they play, one thing, can I quickly burst your bubbles? For example, I have always loved the fact that children should play. Until I saw a quote. I think the quote, I've forgotten the name of the person who gave the quote. It says that the work of childhood is play. So children are supposed to play, just like adults are supposed to work. Children are supposed to play. So you know what? Another quote by Pablo Picasso. He says that if the children are not learning the way we are teaching, why don't we teach the way they love to learn? How do kids love to learn? They want to play. They want to play. So what's a math teacher supposed to do? Find a way to integrate play in the teaching. Make the play the icing on the cake, and make the real work the real cake. When you see a cake, what do you see? Do you see the cake? You don't see the real cake. What you see is the decoration, the icing, and that's what attracts you. So that's what we do. The fun learning methodology is a methodology that's worked and should be adopted by all of our teachers. Let the children play. I read a book called Brain Rules by Dr. John Medina. In that book, Brain Rules, it says that the brain is actually not designed to work at its optimum best when it's at rest, when it's just staying at rest. The brain is designed to work at its optimum capacity when it's in motion. Immediately I discovered that our classes are always in motion. Normally we're just supposed to sit and listen to the teacher. No, give the kids some motion. Let them play around whilst you are teaching math. It works like magic. I've been doing this. I started teaching since 1999, but I started teaching the abacus, mental math, and brain development since 2015. So I'm 10 years teaching children with playway method. I mean, I also started teaching children the way they're just going to sit. So you have some people who would know it, you have some people who will not know it. You understand? Because we are not at the same level of thinking, reasoning, and understanding. However, when I started introducing playway method, you see that the children are in motion and their brains are ready to learn. Then you see that they begin to absorb everything you are teaching them. And then you know one thing that the Asians also do that we have actually adopted in our system is that they make the children to practice. So whatever you learn, you practice it for 6 days and you learn it for life.
Very quickly, let me ask you this. How do we modernize education, especially in this part of the world, and still protect its intellectual core?
I mean, we need to go digital. It's not.
Is Nigeria ready for digitalization of education?
We are ready. We just need the right people. We need the right minds. We need the best brains. I mean, there are some things that you cannot give to a fool. There are some things that you cannot give to people who are not competent. Let's leave tribalism. Let's leave things that will harm our future, harm our children. If our ancestors failed us, we should not fail our descendants. You understand? So let's take away all of these things and bring out the best brains. Oh, you have the capacity to do this. Okay, come. Let's hear you. Let's listen to what you can do. What can you do differently? Assemble best brains. Let the leaders actually gather best brains. Look for them. Gather best brains. And how do we do this thing? We can actually modernize, or we can actually customize something that can work for us even at this level as we begin to journey to the place of perfection. So we need to start. You understand? A journey of a tiresome mind will start with one step. So in starting is to gather people who are competent, people who can actually bring solution, people who can think of solution, people who already know the Nigerian child. I know the Nigerian children. I mean, if you give me, I don't know, anywhere there is a child that has phobia for math, bring the child to me. You understand? If he's an African child, I know what to do. I know the language. I've been in the system for a long time. So if you can gather such people who already have understanding, who also have passion, they have the heart for this. I have the heart for this. I mean, this is what I breathe. And so every day we're actually looking at what can we do? How do we do? What can we do differently? How are we able to meet up with the children? The children are gadget kids right now. They want to be on their gadget. You understand? I was watching a child in a particular school. The child it was during ICT class, you know, and then the child actually went to the computer. The computer is just desktop, the normal desktop that they're supposed to use the keyboard. You understand? And all of those things. But the child went to the screen of the keyboard and was trying to swipe. So I felt like, whoa. We have failed this child. You know why? You know why I failed this child?
Moved past that stage.
Yeah, the child has actually moved. We are using Stone Age method. When the child wants to swipe, the child wants to enlarge, wants to magnify the thing that the child is looking at, while we are using old methods. So modernization is actually necessary right now where we are. Nigeria is blessed. Nigeria is blessed. It's just for us to channel the resources in the right direction. And you know what? If we don't do that, the future is not safe.
All right. As someone who's with a vision to shape the future of an average African child, what's your plan for these children in 5 years?
Excuse me. Okay. To be very frank, I mean, part of the reason why we came, I'm currently in Ibadan, is to begin to see how we can begin to, I've done the Abacus thing for 10 years in Lagos. We've done it in Abuja, and we felt like, let's begin to spread. Let's begin to, I must not die with all of these things, all of this passion, all of these great things that, my own ancestors has given to me, my own past teachers. You know, many of them are still alive. You understand? And every, like I used to do every World Teachers Day, I try to send something to them to say, I'm only able to do this thing I'm doing because of the impact you guys have had in my life. You know, and that's what I want to do also, you understand, to pass it on to the next generation. So all of this math passion, all of this, developing the minds of people, all of these methodologies we have gotten. We have a methodology that we created, that if a child is with us, in 3 months, the child will become 5 times smarter than they came. before meeting us. You know, so all of these are the things we want to move with. So we want to move, I mean, from state to state till we reach out to the entire state in Nigeria, and then we want to begin to teach via the internet, via medias, YouTube. We want to begin to do all of those things so that we can reach more children. We also want to reach children who are not in Nigeria. Again, they are Nigerians, they are Africans, but they are not in Nigeria. They are in the Western world. We also want to reach them because they still belong to us. So those are the things we want to do and impact the next generation.
David Wilson, I really wish we could, extend this more, but then our time is fast spent on the show this morning. We'll hope to bring you back some other time and discuss extensively about education in the country. Thank you for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you.
That's been a wonderful session with you.
Thank you.
All right, that was truly eye-opening, an eye-opening conversation. As we have heard today, the debate goes far beyond whether students should solve equations or not. It's about what kind of thinkers we are raising and what kind of nation we are building. If mathematics is indeed the language of logic, then how we teach or choose not to teach it will define the intellectual strength of our future generations. I am Samson Balogo, and that's the big story for me for today. Math no longer mandatory, education reforms or academic missteps. Stay tuned. Trend Watch continues. A big thank you to David Wilson of Macho Mind this morning. Thank you for joining us in the studio. Next time, we'll bring you here to talk about this particular topic, but then the time is really short on the show. Let's go on a quick break. And when we return, the show continues. This is Daybreak Live. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Alright, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where inspiration meets entertainment. Thank you for joining us on the show so far. It is time to do Trend Watch on the show this morning. And I still have in the studio Anuluapo Idowu.
It's good to have me, and it's good to have you. It's good to have mathematics out of the curriculum for some people.
For some people, yes, but for some people, it doesn't really, it's far beyond calculations, actually. There's a lot, it helps you think wider, gives you the problem-solving skills you would need later in the future. And I really do feel sorry for people who would do arts, and then their children would do sciences, and then you would need to help them. So how do you do that when you don't even know so much? I mean, that will cost you money, because eventually you have to get someone who you would have to pay to get that done for you. I mean,
okay, quickly, let's talk about Dangote. Dangote Gas Direct is about to commence operations. It's set to establish regional gas farms across the 6 geopolitical regions in Nigeria. That's big, that's shocking, but that's also good for some people.
It's now this is one thing that will infuriate some people, and this is one thing that will make most Nigerians happy. I mean, they are coming as close as to the people as a regional level. I mean, there will be gas at every region, and then all you have to do is to make some phone calls, and then you will be on the supply list, and then eventually.
So you order gas, you just place
your
order.
You just place your order, and they will come to you. Now, this will not sit down well with Pengasan. This definitely would, just like they are not talking about gas yet. They were talking about petrol and diesel. And Dangote says, look, I want to take it to the filling stations, to these gas stations myself. I have what it takes. And then Pengasan is angry. They feel it's a kind of monopoly from Pengasan. But then, is it truly monopoly, or it's a challenge that needs to be solved? Is Pengasan really doing the Nigerian people, it's sort of the service, or they're really helping the Nigerian people? That's where Dangote comes in. If Dangote does this, maybe in 1 month, and Nigerians feel the difference, then they would know what exactly Pengasan means to them. But then if he does it, and then there's no change, then people will say, oh, there's no such difference between Pengasan and Dangote Direct. So let's see what will happen. He actually acquired about 4,000 trucks. 1,000 is already available, about 3,000 to join, or maybe they have joined. The news is not that clear. But if all this continue to go this way, we'll know if Dangote truly wants to monopolize the market, or if he truly wants to give it to the people. Don't forget that there is no way Dangote can monopolize the market. It's only going to be temporary. Now, Bua is already building a refinery. That is in Akwa Ibom. And so many other people who have modular refineries in the country. If these things are done the right way, I think there is a lot to unpack on this. It's not just a conversation for 10 minutes. I think it's really big.
It's quite a big one. But again, let me just add to that, maybe just to put as a balance to that, because there's no way you want to talk about Dangote and not talk about business. The first thing in the mind of Dangote is the stress of the country. It's forced to do business and to make profits.
He borrowed $20 billion to build a refinery. You don't expect him to do charity.
So he's not in a charity business. He's in a real business, and he's going to get his money. But I think it's also a good thing for many Nigerians, because this will ease the stress of queues, of a lot of stress that you have to go through filling your gas. And I think it's a good development. There are many comments also I've been able to take. Of course, Vincent Nakema says this initiative is one of the best things that's lighting the hearts of Nigerians in recent times. He said an initiative that has defeated insensitivity of politicians. That's a comment.
I mean, that's for me. Some people, everyone will have a thing or two to say about this particular one. But then, if you take a look at the comments, most Nigerians are expecting to see Dangote do what he wants to do, and then juxtapose with what they used to have and see the difference. So until that is done, most of their comments will still be hailing Dangote. Now, it is difficult at this time to know who the enemy of the people is. Is it Dangote? Is it Pengasan? Is it even the federal government? Because as it stands, they are probably sitting on the fence to see, what exactly will happen. But there are a lot of comments out there, especially on Twitter. And if care is not taken, one will be dragged if you are not careful, especially on Twitter. But let's see what will happen. Dangote knows exactly what he wants to do. There was a time he said, look, yes, I have told 800 staff to go, and I do not intend to take them back. And if you want me to keep paying them, I will do that for, I think, 5 years. He said 5 years. Let them stay at their different homes, or they are moved to different companies. Because he knows the power of sabotage. If these people if they come back into the system, there will be a challenge. They will sabotage his efforts, even within his own company. So he knows what he's doing, and he wants to, get to the bottom of it. Well, it is time for us to go. And our time is fast spent on the show. We have a lot for you on this dial today. So stay glued to Dominion Television. Until tomorrow, when we shall be meeting you again on this same dial, same station, but a slightly different Daybreak Live Extra. That's the Friday edition, where you'll be meeting the Three Musketeers. Until that time, I say keep being good out there, keep being safe. Bye for now. Samson Balogun is my name.
He's a musketeer for me. My name is Anudo Akwedo. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Join us again tomorrow for another exciting moment. Bye for now.